So welcome to this orientation session for the paper APM, the Advanced Performance Management. This is Luqman Rafiq. I am your tutor for this course APM. Our agenda for this session of today is to discuss about the APM, that what exactly is this APM syllabus all about, plus what is the teaching methodology that I adopt in order to teach APM, and what you as a student should be doing in order to pass APM. So that is something that we would be discussing in today's session. So first of all, starting from this APM syllabus, we have in front of us the syllabus of the APM for the relevant examination attempt. This syllabus is valid till the June 2022. After that, there are some amendments that are likely to arise. So we are going to be discussing that later on. But for the time being, my focus is on the June 2022 attempt. So let's actually start off and let's just start discussing. The first thing is when I talk about the advanced performance management. So you would realize that you have already studied the performance management paper. And now this paper is an advanced level performance management paper. Now, when we talk about the advanced level performance management paper, so there are few things that you need to understand. What are those things which you need to understand with respect to this advanced performance management is the first thing that you need to understand is the concept of performance management. So I repeat, the first thing that you need to do is that you need to understand the concept of performance management, that what exactly is this performance management all about. Before I go on to discussing the syllabus, let me just give you a bit of a guidance of this performance management. So when we talk about the concept of performance management, what exactly do we mean by performance management? So performance management is actually managing performance of a business to ensure that it achieves its mission slash accomplishes the vision. So when I talk about the concept of performance management, what exactly do you mean by performance management? The performance management simply means that you manage a business in such a manner that it is able to achieve its vision. It is able to achieve its vision, the ultimate objective, the core objective for which the business was created. And if I discuss this, that what exactly is it that is going to let a business be able to achieve its vision? So there are multiple things with respect to the business. What are those multiple things with respect to the business? So that would actually mean that the business would have to look after a lot of things. What are those lot of things? A business would have to be concerned about its production. A business would have to be concerned about its customers. A business would have to maintain good relationship with its suppliers. The business would have to. The business would have to have good relationship with the government. Furthermore, the business need to invest in its information technology. The business needs to manage the finances properly. The business needs to look after its marketing department in a proper manner. The business needs to make sure that its research and developments are up to the mark. The business needs to make sure that it is actually managing the competition. It is keeping an eye on its competitors, that what are the competitors up to. So if you need to run a business, if you need to manage a business, there are multiple aspects of the business that you need to consider. What are those multiple aspects? Every single thing that could have an impact on the business directly or indirectly needs to be managed. What do you mean by this? Your products, the quality of the products, the customers, the satisfaction of the customers, the suppliers, the relationship with the suppliers, the quality of the goods delivered by the suppliers, your relationship with the government and the governmental agencies, the IT department of the organization, the overall finances of the organizations, the marketing function, the research and development department, the standing amongst the competitors. So there are multiple things that you as a business have to manage and you have to look after. So when it comes to this paper advanced performance management, what is it that we actually look at? So advanced performance management is basically the performance management at the strategic level of the organization. It's the performance management at the strategic level of the organization. I repeat, when it comes to the advanced performance management, it's the performance management at the strategic level of the organization. What do you mean by strategic level of the organization? The top level of the organization, the board level, where the board of directors are sitting, the performance aspect which the board of directors are looking at. So the examiner, when he is actually testing this paper APM, he's expecting you to be a business consultant. He's expecting you to act as a business consultant who is going to direct the business strategically into a direction that it will be able to achieve its objectives. So when we talk about the advanced performance management syllabus, there are overall entire all aspects of the business that are covered up in here. And what are those overall aspects of the business that are covered up in the course? So if you would actually have a bit of an understanding of the course, so you will have an idea that what are the things that are part and parcel of the syllabus. I'm just going to take you through some of the aspects of the syllabus so that you can have an idea. Now, see, one of the aspects of the business is the strategic planning and control. The word is strategic. This actually means you are operating at the BOD level. So the way you plan at the strategic level, you plan for the future, you plan for the forward direction. So when it talks about the strategic planning, what do you mean by strategic planning? The strategic planning means the top level planning, the board level planning that you would perform as an entity to make sure that you set a direction for the business. And then at the same time, you are controlling your performance just to make sure that you don't deviate from your mission, just to make sure that you are going into the right direction. So the first aspect with respect to this strategic, this APM is the strategic planning and control. And what do we mean by strategic planning and control? It simply means that you are thinking in a strategic manner. You are thinking about the strategic direction of the business and you are controlling the performance in such a manner that you will be able to achieve the vision. And when we are going to be discussing this specific area, so we'll be talking about different types of business model that would discuss that how the performance operates, how the performance is controlled at the different levels of organization. We're going to talk about how different type of business is structure, whether that be a flat structure, whether that be a tall structure, whether that be a matrix type of a structure, how are those structures managed and how do they have an impact on a business. Plus, we'll be talking about the environmental, social, and other factors that have a direct or an indirect impact on the business. So that's one aspect of this. Similarly, the second aspect of this course is the impact of risk and uncertainty. You know this thing that when a business operates, it does face risk. It does face uncertainty. You cannot always predict the ultimate outcome. I repeat, you cannot always predict the ultimate outcome. The ultimate outcome can vary. The ultimate outcome could be different to what your expectations are. The ultimate outcome cannot always be predicted. So now, when the ultimate outcome cannot always be predicted, so what does this mean? This actually means that when you are taking a decision for the business, you got to incorporate the impact of risk and uncertainty. So what are we going to be discussing in here? We're going to be discussing in here that how a business incorporates the risk, how a business incorporates uncertainty when making decisions for the achievement of the vision. Then what do we have? We have got the performance management and information system. That if you got to manage the performance, what is the information system that you should be managing? And when we talk about the information system, it's how the information is captured, processed, analyzed, presented. Because you see, the core aspect of management is decision making. The core aspect of management is directing the organization towards its ultimate goal, ultimate objective. And for an organization to be able to achieve its goals, for an organization to be able to achieve its direction, it is important. I repeat, it is important that as an organization you should have a strong information system. So here we would discuss that how does an organization captures information, how does it processes it, how does it analyzes it, and how does it present it to the management so that the management is able to make decisions in a better manner. Next, we have got the strategic performance measurement. And when we talk about the strategic performance measurement, what do we mean by this? That when we talk about the board of the organization, when we talk about the BOD, obviously the BOD wants to measure the performance before they can manage it. What do we mean by measuring the performance? So when we talk about measuring of the performance, this simply means quantifying the performance. I repeat, when we talk about measuring the performance, this simply means quantifying the performance. That is, you got to quantify the different aspects of the organization's performance. And when you got to quantify the different aspects of the organization's performance, so you need to have the different methods of measuring it. So basically here in this section D, we would see that how the performance could be measured using the financial and using the non-financial aspects. So what are we going to be doing? We're going to be discussing in here that how the performance is measured using the financial and the non-financial aspects. Plus, here we are also going to be talking about the impact and the role of quality in the performance management. We're going to be talking about how the human resource needs to be managed, what are the issues that need to be addressed with respect to HR, and lastly, the behavioral aspects of performance management. So if you could see up till now, we have talked that the first aspect is directing or giving a strategic direction to the business, incorporating risk and uncertainty, creating an information system environment which could have a good information system. And once the information system is created, then measuring the performance in such a manner that you are able to control the performance. Plus, there are additional aspects and which is about the performance evaluation and the corporate failure, which is to ensure that the failure is predicted and the failure is avoided. So if I talk about this APM paper, what exactly is this paper? It's one of those papers where you're going to be discussing a lot of models, a lot of things which you have already studied at the SBL level, whether that be Porter 5 forces, whether that be pestle analysis, whether that be BCG analysis, whether that be the SWOT analysis, whether that be the value chain analysis, whether that be the NSOF metrics. You'd be discussing a lot of models that you have already discussed at the SBL. But again, the discussion of those models are now going to be in the form of in the form of performance measurement methodology. You would be having a performance management mindset. You'd be having a performance management mindset. That is something that you would have to keep in mind. Now, how exactly am I going to be teaching you this APM paper? And why should you be studying APM? So the first question should be that why should I be studying APM? Like why should you be studying APM? So if you are somebody who likes business processes, who wants to be doing the business, or who wants to be on the operations side of the business, who wants to be on the operational excellence side of the business, who wants to be on the performance improvement side of the business, this is the paper which is meant for you. This is the paper which is meant for you. By studying this paper, you would understand how at a strategic level you can control performance, how at a strategic level you can manage information, how at a strategic level you could measure the performance and direct the organization towards the accomplishment of vision. And how am I going to be teaching this paper? So my methodology of teaching this paper is that once you enroll with us, once you enroll with us, what we actually do is that we provide you access to pre-recorded lectures. Plus, you are added to a WhatsApp group. You're added to a WhatsApp group where there is a two-way communication takes place between you, me, and the other peers. Plus, you will be getting a planner to follow. Fourthly, there are going to be either weekly or they are going to be either fortnightly sessions depending upon how you keep up with the plan. Then the last month before the exam, there are going to be the live revision sessions, and there is going to be one marked mock examination. So that is what you are going to be getting when it comes to studying this course. How exactly are we going to provide you these recorded lectures? So let me guide you. You could see there is a website in front of you. The name of the website is scribberacademy.com. Scribberacademy.com. You can go on to the scribberacademy.com, search on the search bar APM, and you would come across this course. You could see that there is this chapter which is about introduction and demo. In this specific chapter, you could see how I teach. You have got different topics which are being covered in here. You could see them. You could see how we go about in the class with respect to these topics. Plus, there are these whole course along with ample amount of practice questions. And the objective of actually having more and more practice questions is because if you want to pass APM, the APM cannot be passed if you don't practice enough. You got to be practicing enough for you to be able to pass APM. So whole of the course is actually being made available in the recorded format. So what we are going to be doing is that this is the approach. This is the strategy that we would be following. What fee are we charging? We are charging a fee of $150. There's a 20% discount that you can avail, so you can end up paying $120 for this APM course. Now, what is going to happen? How to get in touch with us? If you want to get in touch with me, this is my number 92331 If you want to get in touch with admin, this is their number. So, what happens is that we this is the session. The agenda for today's session was to have an orientation about the APM. We would formally start off from the coming week from Monday, where we'll be having a session where I'd be discussing the live practice and all that. And this is where we are actually gonna start off with. So in case if any one of you have got any questions, you're most welcome to ask them, or else I'm actually gonna conclude in here.